October 16th, 2023 school board meeting. Please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge. We have a presentation tonight regarding Greenville Elementary School. Mr. Self, principal at Greenville Elementary School.
Okay, Ms. Chairperson, this is the first in our series of schools that will be presented. I told you that I will be bringing the schools before us each month to present, and they will be doing academic presentations this year.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
So as we were speaking more, meeting accident, Greenville was blessed this year with some honeybees that we found on campus. What I hear, a little bit around Greenville and school, they have been there years. However, we discovered them this year, and they were a little close to our playground area.
They're part of the family. They're part of the family.
They are definitely part of the family. We're not changing the mascot,
Well, that's what we used to be, the Yellow Jackets. That school was the Greenville Yellow Jackets.
and I actually all of this, I found an old, a very old football helmet that I have now in my office from the building back. So I actually showed it to Coach Rod, and it's vintage.
You don't remember? He does not remember.
You had tough football. So I got a vintage helmet from Greenville, and we have our bees, and we have a local family from Greenville that's come out to rescue. They rescued one hive so far. Our children have been able to taste some honey, and we took a video of the rescue, not removal, the rescue of bees, and we're now cutting it up so we can now send it out to the faculty with kids see.
Are you going to move those beads? Are you moving those beads to another hive?
Yes, they're going to be putting them in the crates, and relocating them, and there's 4 hives that they're going to have one so far. And it's actually a big hive.
What are you doing with the honey?
Well, we're sharing it with our children, and the faculty are taking what we can salvage that's not in the crates.
Miss Becky here is an expert at that.
Yes, she grew up with
She's an
honeybees.
expert.
I think one tomorrow is going to be normal. If anyone on the board would like to come out, they're around mid-morning to do the removal. It's just a fascinating process. Look at the queen, and we're going to ask the gentleman to come back and do a presentation for us with all the kids. And so it'll be real. They'll be able to see the video, they'll be able to see the gentlemen that are moving, and then we'll come back and it can definitely make you guys actually did this on our campus, and now you're here giving us a presentation. So it'll make all of that, and they're local. So it's just, I don't know, it's just been one of the neatest things for us. For our kids and for the whole school, with the honey and the bees and the life cycle, and then we make sure we protect them, away from the bees. They said we don't have anything to worry about, but it's just one of those. You never know when somebody might be allergic, and they get a random sting, and then Yeah.
Y'all got that EpiPen now?
Yes, ma'am. We would have to, yes, that would be something that I don't want to go down that road, I'll be honest with you. But it's been very, very uplifting for the children, and I told them, I said, we have to win the spelling bee now. Greenville has to win the spelling bee because we have the D's, so.
Yeah.
If y'all want to come out and join us in the morning, mid-morning, we'll be doing some work if the weather holds. So thank y'all for entertaining that, but it's been the neatest experience. I did want to, and I'm going to go ahead now, since I'm doing the presentation now in September. Well, we have the September, we have the October STAR data. We're going to have 2 more data points. We'll have a data point in November and we'll have one in December. I would like to ask to come back in January and present that data so we can now see 4 data points. We would be able to see September, October, November, December. So if I could come and do the same type of presenation, that'd be great. Because Greenville is already on the way up. Even though we went through the last time I met you all, we went through the hurricane. Greenville came back strong. We only had one snafu during the hurricane, and that was, we came right back the Tuesday. But then that Friday, our power was out. So it was out long enough that most of our kids ended up going home. That was the only issue that we experienced really through the hurricane with our children. But our families were fantastic. The kids were great. It was just that one Friday that the power wasn't on. So.
And the commissioner was scheduled to come out here that day.
Yes. And Miss Joseph told me to be on my best behavior. I told her I'm always on my best behavior. So, but that was the only snafu that we had during the whole hurricane. The kids were, like I said, they were outstanding. So if you could see that even through that, our September STAR data, I've put the percentages of our children. Now that's at or above grade level. Okay. So in 3rd grade ELA, as you can see, there's 12% math, 12, 40, 33, 33, 46, 20, 33. That goes from 3rd to 6th grade. Okay. In October, like I said, through all of our trials and tribulations, the only problem that I really have, there's 2. Our 3rd grade ELA was unchanged at 12. So 1 of 8 are still at or above benchmark. In 4th grade ELA, there was a decrease. We lost 1 student at or above grade level. We will be intervening there to get that student right back where they need to be. But I do want to talk about, I'm bothered more about the unchanged and the decrease than I am the wonderful increases that we had. But we did have some excellent increases in 4th grade math. As you can see, that's a 27% increase. 5th grade was also 27%. In math, there was a 14% increase in 5th grade math. In 6th grade ELA, there was a 13% increase and a 20% increase in 6th grade math. So that's in 1 month, children grew, we added children to the list. So basically, as you can see the fraction that I have there, if you have 9 out of 15 in 4th grade math, that's how many are at or above grade level. So of the 15 children, 9 are at or above grade level. So we are growing, and I'm really excited about what's going to happen in the November standardized assessment and then in December. We just hosted our donuts and data on the 12th, and we had almost right at 60% of our students represented. We did have parents who had multiple students, so that's where we got the number. But we had 43 families, 43 representatives that came out to be there, to get the data broken down, talk about the standardized assessments, talk about how the child was doing, and then we sent our report cards out on that Friday.
That tells us that the people are very comfortable coming to the school, they feel welcomed, and I'm glad to hear that.
And I would even say that there was inclement weather that day. Friday, the weather was not good. And we had people running in, through the weather. Had we not had the thunderstorms that we had, we probably would have had we probably would have had several more. But I know when I was driving in, it was heavy at times. And people were still there supporting their kids, supporting our school, having a donut. The kids ate more donuts than the parents did. But it was just nice to have.
The parents at Greenville love their children too.
Yes, ma'am.
They do. They really love their children too.
Yes, ma'am. It was fantastic. So it was very, very encouraging. Parents left with their child's data from the standardized assessments, and then, like I said, they got their report cards on Friday. It was just a great day for us, for the weekend, going into the weekend. Some of the things that we're doing around professional learning, as you can see at the top of the back, if you flip the page, we are doing UFly training. That's a phonics-based program. We're doing some LLI with small groups for our children. And then we're getting a training from our partners at DOE on Focus Board, where we have the standards listed, where the children can refer to the standards. And it's going to be very, standardized for our kids. So no matter the classroom, they'll have their focus boards, they'll understand what the focus board is. And we want to make sure that our teachers are very well versed in focus board. We do have district support as well. We have our weekly coaching support. We had our science coach on campus today, our reading coach on campus today, and we had a partner from the DOE, Mr. Caleb Watkins, and then our mathematics support. She supports us 1 day a week.
If I could stop you there for a minute. When you say support, what do you mean by support?
Oh, they come out playing with the teachers, meet with the teachers, observe, help them with their lesson plans.
So they make contact with the individual teachers?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's they're there to support whatever the teacher needs. If it happens to be planning, if it happens to be instructional delivery, it's all about what do we need to do to help our children achieve. So it's one of those, and it's part of the reasons why the data is moving. It's not. We're not going to sit here at Greenville and take the credit. The teachers are obviously doing the work, but they're also getting positive support from our partners, and we're all doing this as a collective group.
Right.
Because it's all about our kids there. That's the whole thing. That's the reason why we go through the doors every day. It's about our kids there. And everybody that comes knows that we're here to support the teachers, which in turn supports the children. And with the parents as well. The more that they understand the data, the more they understand, what it looks like on a document. Whenever I see a standardized assessment, what does that look like? What is that telling me? They understand that. Now we can move, when we go from the October to the November assessment, we send that document home. Now they can see, oh, right here, this is what I need to be looking at. Little Johnny or little Susie is moving here. We maybe we regressed here, or maybe we stayed the same. But I understand exactly the document I'm looking at, and it makes it more powerful. We did have in September, we did have our Grandparents' Day. That was fantastic as well. We had our donuts and data, as I was just talking about. Our fall festival is going to be in November. Greenville's having their fall festival in November, and we're going to have a tentative date for donuts and data is right before we get out of school, because we want to take into the Christmas break something extremely positive. So we want to do donuts and data again, and I know our data is going to be trending even higher by the time we get to December, but we're setting that for 12/12. And y'all are all welcome to join us for that day. Hopefully we can get our attendance up. Hopefully the weather will be great, and we'll be around 80%. That's what we would really want for that day. And then, as I said, if I'm allowed, I'll come back in January and we'll present our data, because I know our data is moving in the right direction.
I'm sure you'll be allowed to.
Okay. Our student incentives, as we were talking, we did receive our lanyards, we did receive our stars. They came in. Kids have been rewarded. They're wearing them on test days. They're really, really excited about it. I mean, when I go in the cafeteria, they come in the cafeteria, they're holding up their necklaces, they're lanyards, showing me their stars. They understand what it's all about to achieve. And that's the biggest thing, is them believing that they can achieve. And I know they can. And now they believe. And whenever they get those little small wins, they're going to become big wins. And that's what it's all about for me, is them knowing that somebody's here to support you, you're getting rewarded, you're achieving, we're moving forward. So they're really excited about that. And they wear them on test days. So we're excited about that. And then we're going to start having our behavior celebrations. We haven't had any behavior celebrations really because we haven't done any paperwork. So our referrals are next to nothing. So our kids are meeting expectations. They're not missing school because of, I won't say bad behavior, but for bad choices. They're not, they're there. So no one's staying at home because they were, made a bad choice. So we're really excited about that. We want to keep that positive momentum going. The harder we teach them, the harder we push them, the more we incentivize, the more we reward, the less behavior we have, which we don't have much at all now, but we want our kids there doing what they need to do and not at home because of a bad choice. So like I said, right now we have none. No bad behavior, no referrals, and we want to keep it that way. And the more that we involve our families,
It doesn't surprise me, because I've attended many, many things at Greenville Elementary, and I am appalled. I mean, I sit there and I think, I see how they come in, sit down, quiet, listening, no one's speaking, the teacher doesn't have to say a word. And I'm impressed.
I love it. It's great. It's just a great place to be. I want to be there forever. As I told y'all, I got some family connection there. It's just been great. And it's sweet, just like the honey. That's what I'll tell you. So y'all come on tomorrow if y'all want to. But definitely the grandparents, or not, excuse me, the Donuts with Data, I'd love to have y'all. We use it around 45 minutes. But even our partner from the DOE came up that morning. And he was like, oh, wow. He's like, wow. I mean, I was having to direct people in, here we go here, sign in, here's our donuts. And Miss Barbara from the district was there to support us. It was terrific. So anytime y'all want to come out, you're more than welcome. Ms. Bier will be sending you an email tonight. Appreciate you.
Your courtesy.
Thank you, Mr. Self. We appreciate you coming tonight.
All right.
Appreciate it.
January, I look forward.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Joe.
you.
Thank you. All right, we have an amendment to the agenda. It will be, we'll place it under items for individual consideration, 5.8, teacher salary increase and annual salary adjustment. That's 5.8, teacher salary increase and annual salary adjustment. At this point, we will adopt the agenda. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Madam Chair, I move to adopt the agenda.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Comments from the public? No comments, none, okay. Consent agenda items, 4.1 minutes, 4.2 agreements with Florida Virtual School, 4.3 fundraisers, 4.4 MOU with County of Madison Ag Center, 4.5 Florida Safe School Security Assessments. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda items.
We have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion?
One thing on the 4.4, the MOU with the Ag Center wasn't on the website.
I know.
It was on the website, but we had to put it for the, board review only.
Yes.
Because it's the same thing, we cannot publicize their reunion site. It has to do with our reunion site.
Oh.
Okay, but it is on the website, but it's only for the board,
I got
it's
you.
not for public viewing.
Thank you. All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5 items for individual consideration. 5.1 personnel changes, Mr. Killingsworth.
Yes, ma'am. This evening, come to you with two instructional recommendations. Those being at the central school, and then I have one resignation from China Elementary School that I'm asking your approval tonight. As well as two substitute, a bus driver and a bus monitor.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Killingsworth? Do we have a motion to approve the personnel changes?
I move to approve the personnel change.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.2 volunteers, Mr. Killingsworth.
Have another.
Ms. Gibson, let me go back if I can. That is correct, but I also have for the high school, the tutor for that. I apologize.
The two tutors at the high school?
No, there's four tutors.
Four tutors at the high school, okay.
Tutoring, the after-school tutoring for that, that I'm asking here for.
Okay.
I apologize.
That's fine. Do we have a motion to approve the volunteers in addition to the 4 tutors at Madison County High School?
Madam Chair.
But yeah, okay, so volunteers are 5.2.
Yes.
5.1 is both the personnel changes and the request to offer after-school tutoring. So I think you're gonna have to take that separately. So under 5.1, you take another motion and second to vote on the request to offer after-school tutoring.
Okay. Well, can we finish number 2 first? since we
You can do
started?
it anyway you want. It's fine.
You want to do the volunteers?
Yeah, let's,
Okay.
yeah, let's.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. We have 41 names before you today that are on the volunteer list. It also states the school that are schools that they're wishing to participate at, and as well as the activity for which they're wanting to volunteer at. It's 2 pages.
Oh, okay. Do we have a motion to approve the volunteers in addition to the 4 tutors?
No.
Just-
No.
Just the volunteers. I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the volunteer list as.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion?
I just want to comment that I am very happy to see such a long list of parents that are engaging in the schools.
Most of them going on trips.
There's a.
No,
It's
most of them going on
There's
trips.
more than that, and I'm.
They're not really volunteering, they're going on trips.
But they are getting involved in this, that's
Uh-huh.
great.
Mhm.
All those in favor? Becky, 5-0. Okay, now we'll go back to our,
The after-school tutor,
the after-school
real quick.
tutors.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There are 4 names
Okay.
for the high school that I'm asking your approval. And it shows the various English, math, science, and social studies disciplines that I'm asking your approval for the tutor.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Killen?
How many days is the tour?
This actually does not say it off of here. I'd have to go back and look on the application. Typically, it was 3 days. 3 days a week.
3 days per week. Until the end of the semester of the school term.
Basically till the money were to be terminated or run out.
Okay.
If that, preferably, we would like to run it up towards the objective.
Until the funds are gone.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a motion to approve the 4 tutors at Madison County High School?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the 4 tutors at Madison County High
We
School.
have a motion by Ms. Vieta, second.
A second.
Second by Ms. Knight. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Killingsworth. 5.3 FRP for female consultant, Ms. Rainick. is we took an RFP that had been FEMA approved from another district, and then we created the RFP for Madison. Right after the hurricane, this board approved an emergency procurement. That emergency procurement is only good for 90 days. So now we have to go out with a full procurement offer as an RFP. We would like the board's approval on the RFP that would give us the FEMA consultant. We would like to post it, and we would like to get it done so that before we have to extend the emergency procurement, we would have a FEMA consultant in place. And I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Reeves, so can you talk about it a little bit?
Sure. The RFP is just a request for proposal asking for people who want to do this job, give everybody a chance to bid for it, where we can select the best one. I would certainly think the one we have now will definitely reapply because they're already involved, but, there could be somebody else that can do it better, and, you gotta look and see. And so that's where we are. If you look at the page 1, you've got your time frame there that sets out how we're going to do it. So we'll issue it tomorrow. The closing date's November 2, evaluation board, all of that. The only thing I had, and I should have gotten it to you earlier, on page 11, paragraph 9, is the termination provision. And that one just says that it can be terminated, just says it can be terminated for cause. I would add a sentence, and I emailed it to Ms. Rose a little while ago, that allows termination for convenience and says either the contractor or the district may terminate this contract for any or no reason upon giving 30 days advance written notice to the other party. And that's the only thing I would add, I think, just to make it real clear.
So this really is not a contract, this is a proposal for a, this is requesting people to bid on.
Yes.
This is saying, if you're interested in providing these services to us, you provide your proposal by November 2.
Okay, and then when that does come to fruition, we'll know more about the money then, because that'll be in the contract, the money, how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah, the money they're going to charge us.
Okay, now how are we as far as this 90 days go right now? As far as,
The end of November is when our 90-day period is.
Right.
For the emergency procurement.
okay,
So that's why this is timed this way, so that we can hopefully get this done and get in a committee together and choose
right,
whoever we're going to choose and get that extended before the renewal runs out, or before the emergency runs out.
right.
So I would propose that the board consider adopting this RFP with the changes that Mr. Reeves has said on the termination clause on page 11, and that we post it immediately so we can give them some time to respond.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Rainick?
Where are we going to post this? We're going to post it on the district website, we're going to advertise it in the newspaper, and we were going to post it on a federal website, but then we were advised against that because we would have so many coming from all over the country that it would be too confusing to try and have to sort through all of that. So
We'll post it on our website, and the paper certainly meets our requirements. I don't know if FEMA has some requirements though about where it has to be.
we asked the current FEMA consultant about it, and they said that those two would be fine as long as it meets our procurement requirements, which is what we did.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Rainick?
I don't have any.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the RFP for FEMA consultant, the request for proposals, with the changes from Mr. Reeves on page 11?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the RFP with the changes suggested by Mr. Reeves on page 11, paragraph 9.
We have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second. Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky Beister. Thank you, Ms. Rainick. Oh, you're still here. 5.4, financial report. Ms. Rainick?
Okay, we'll start with the financial report, and remember, because you had all of those budget meetings and trim meetings, it's been a little while since you've had one of these. So when you look at Fund 1000, which is your general fund, We have an overall operating budget that was proposed in the trim of just over 22 million. So far this year, we have only, as of the end of September, we had only received almost 4 million of that. But keep in mind that the taxes are usually delayed until November and December, so we're expecting the taxes to start. So we have expenses from July 1 until the end of September of almost 10 million. So when you put those two together, you can see that we're quite a bit over, and if you look at the fund balance that was unedited or unaudited as of the end of the year, which was 15.38, it will bring the fund balance now, at this point in time, down to 12.45%. That's something because it fluctuates up and down because of the difference in the expenses and the revenue that are coming in. I did have some notes on there, pretty much. You're aware of most of those notes. We do have pending deductibles, which we are going to have a discussion tomorrow. We go down to the FISBIT training, and at that FISBIT training, we also have a side training with FISBIT and the FEMA people to talk about the deductibles. It does look like they're varying. 4.8 was their preliminary estimate. It looks like they're varying, but we can't tell you right now what that looks like. Because if, for example, we had a building that had a $100,000 deductible, but we only needed $50,000 to fix the building, those costs would be paid by the district, would be the district's responsibility, but we would not have the deductible. So we're going to hopefully get a little more closure on where those numbers are when we're down there at FISBIT this week. Let's see, if you're okay with that, we'll go to the Fund 2000.
Can I ask just a question, maybe? When I go on there, you know, all this red writing,
I'm sorry,
you know,
I'm just trying to bring it into your attention. Those three things at the bottom are
Yeah.
pending legislation across the country. It's just something that's pending. We don't know where that's going to end up. That's just for you to understand that there are things that are changing.
I'll tell you what, if that ends up,
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
have to-
We had a lot of money, sure.
Yeah, I know. So I'll use blue next time.
No, red's good.
Okay.
Brings attention.
Any
Scared
other-
me to death.
I'm sorry. Did you say see pending on the?
Yeah, I did see
word
pending.
too?
Do it all caps.
It was in little writing.
Okay. I'll see if I can make that a little less tragic for you next time. Okay, any more questions on Fund 1000? We'll move to Fund 2000. This is what Mr. Reeves was talking about, our pari-mutuel funds. These are the racetrack funds that come in and they pay towards our bond that we still owe on the high school renovation. We still owe about $900,000 on those. We get about $217,000 from pari-mutuel funds every year. We use those to turn them around. We get a little bit of interest from IRS that comes in. We use the combination of the two to pay the interest and the loan balance. What we do with the hurricane, what we do with floating more pari-mutuel money, what we do with all of that, the $217,000 will not change. That'll all be what's available. So we'll have to talk about that when we talk about what we're going to do to pay the deductibles. So right now, we have about $6,500 that's come in revenues, and we had expenses of 27,000. Using those millions is just, they're scaring me at night. Okay, so it pretty much is unchanged. Again, this is from July 1st, so it's gonna level out as soon as we get some money coming in for that. No questions on that. Then we move to Fund 3000. You know, that's our capital funds. Now, these funds here, we're projecting just almost $2.3 million to come in, but we're also expecting to put out $2.8 million almost. Part of this capital funds, capital outlay money, We were asked by the Department of Education to send in what our bond issues were and all of those things, because they are gonna come up with a formula so that we will be paying part of our capital outlay funds to charter schools this year. They will get their own capital outlay funds, but they will also be entitled to a little piece of ours. So I don't know how bad that's gonna be impacted until we get the formula from the department. But right now, we are looking at about 100 million in revenues and about 218 million in expenses. So it's digging in a little to the capital outlay fund, but we just don't know how far that's gonna go.
You said 100 million and 200 million,
Yeah, I'm stuck on million.
which is a little pricey for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, okay, 100,000 and 218,000 in revenues. Let me correct myself, I'm gonna get off the millions here. Okay? Now, Fund 410. We do not have the September food claim in this, so it's gonna look a little shaky right now. 109,000 in revenues, 286 in expenses. Again, we don't have that transit for the food claim in there. So as soon as that comes out, we do expect this fund to be about at the same level next year as it is this year. So we're hoping that we can keep it. I can say that they are working very hard to keep that fund in a black situation. So we're hoping that it does not lean to the red this year. There is an equipment grant in here, and Ms. Iris has ordered several pieces of new equipment for the kitchen in Central School. So that should be coming during the year. We probably will not see the revenue from that until the beginning of next year, so that might lopside this whole total, but it's going to be pretty close to what it was last year. Fund 4200, those are all your title grants. There's no fund balance in this, it comes in, it goes out. So we're expecting about $3.3 million, and we're expecting about $3.1 million in expenses at this point in time that we have not budgeted at all out yet. We have 175,000, almost 176,000 in revenues so far this year, and we have 433,000 in expenses. So we're waiting for a reimbursement of $250,000. ESSER money. Remember ESSER 1 CARES grant's gone away. And for the beginning of this year, you will have a little bit of ESSER 2 money, which was 4430 and 4440. Because most of these projects are closed as of September 30th. So you're going to see some liquidation of these projects coming in the next couple of months, but after that, these projects are not going to move at all. They're going to be closed. Right now, we had $12.7 thousand, back to the millions again, $12.7 thousand in revenues, $59.7 thousand in expenses. We're waiting for about $47,000 to be reimbursed. The other half of the CRISA money, this ESSER 2 money, we had $39,800 in revenues and $74,000 in expenses, so we got a little bit of credit there that we haven't billed for, so we haven't charged for yet, so we're doing good on that one. Again, that 43 and 44 are going to be closed accounts, so just going to be kind of floating in there. 4450. That is your first piece of your ARP money, your American Rescue Plan money. That money has received revenues so far this year of almost 204,000, expenses of 241,000. So you've got about 37,000 you're waiting for to come back in reimbursements. This is the money we talked about at the executive session, 4450. 4460 is the smaller part of the ARP money where you're talking about the individual grants. A couple of those have already closed. The timing on those came from earlier in this system, so they closed earlier, but most of these other ones will close in September 2024. You've taken in 102,000 in revenues, and you've got 161,000 in expenses, waiting on about $60,000. Come back and be reimbursed. All the ESSER money, all the federal money will have no fund balance to it. it's just money in and money out. Are there any questions?
Let me ask you about the grants again. I know I just brought this up before, but there was 37 grants that are due to expire in September, I think it is.
All of the ARP grants will expire September 30th, 2024.
2024.
The ESSERs have now expired. The CARES have now expired.
Right.
So all we're doing with the ESSER 2 money right now is closing it out. We're liquidating the balances. They
Okay.
can't commit anymore. It's just getting the invoices in. and
Now,
paid.
let me ask you this, and I don't know if you can, or Rob, were positions created due to these grants?
And those folks were, either weren't coming back or, any position that was paid out of ESSER is no longer there.
Oh, so the position doesn't exist anymore?
That's correct.
Okay, so, of course, we may have kept the people on because they were needed someplace else.
Yes, they may have filled another spot,
Right, Okay.
but their grant spot was gone.
okay, I've just been very conscious of this grant business and, you know, how it happens sometimes. We have a grant, we hire someone, and then we keep them forever, and the grant's long gone, so, okay.
We
You
are
may see the
aware.
same person again, but
Yes.
that person is not being paid out of that grant. They're paying out of another funding
Right.
source that we have found.
Because we knew
Okay.
that the grant money was going away.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
transitioned those people before the grant money went away into other positions.
Rather than
The,
hiring
I
somebody
just wanted to
Mhm.
touch base on that, because I always keep it front and center with me, it's just, you know, thank you for the.
Well, and at the end of this year, there's gonna be another cliff.
And so
Another
we know that, so we look forward, I mean, we be proactive with
Right.
it. Mhm.
We will be looking very closely in the March, April timeframe about what's being renewed, so that we are making sure we have the money for the contracts going into 24-25.
Okay, and then you also mentioned the fund balance is 12% right now?
12.45? 12.4?
12.4.
12.45, I think that is.
After the,
And you can see
we
how
took
that
money out
goes
of that
up
for
and
something,
down.
that
Yeah,
money would be
fluctuates.
reimbursed, so
Yeah.
that money would be reimbursed, but we took the money out.
We'll get some tax
Do
money
something.
that will bring that back
Yes.
up a little bit, then we'll have expenses again next time, so it'll come up and down.
Does anyone have any questions for Mrs. Rainick?
I don't
Okay,
understand.
do we have a motion to approve the financial report?
Okay.
Financial report.
I move we approve the financial report.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion?
Just keep watering that tree.
Oh, there you go.
I think we need to
Sunshine and
grow a
water.
few more.
Do we have a motion to approve the financial, not a motion, all those in favor? Becky, 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Rainick.
Thank you.
All right, next agenda item.
Did you have anything to say about the staffing allocation plan?
No,
Okay,
we have not added any other positions.
okay, thank you.
We have not added the request for any additional positions.
5.6 field trips, Ms.
Okay.
Joseph?
Madam Chair, our field trips are as follows. Pontiac Elementary Pre-K first and second grade want, requesting to go to University of Florida, Swanee Valley Fall Harvest Farm on November 1st. Pontiac Elementary kindergarten, Pre-K kindergarten first and second grades also are requesting to go to Rutland Farm in Tifton, Georgia on Wednesday, April 3rd, so they're doing some long-range pre-planning. Okay, the Beta Club officers are requesting to go to LaGrange, Georgia. This is an overnight trip on October 23rd and 24th. The robotics group out of the high school would like to go to Tallahassee to the Mag Lab on November 2nd. Okay, and also the robotics club would like to go to Gainesville for a robotics tournament. Remember, this is National Award Olympic Club. They want to go to Gainesville on November 4th. Okay. I think, is there any? Oh, no, it's not, there's another one. They also want to go to Tallahassee on January 24th to FAMU. This is another robotics tournament. And those are trips, student trips that's being requested.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph. Do we have a motion to approve the field trips?
I move to approve the field trip.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second. Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? Okay, sounds like a lot of good trips and a lot of learning there also. Yes? I'll just wait, I thought you had something to say. All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, I see.
Thank you.
5.7, staff travel, Ms. Joseph.
Okay, the staff travel is for the annual fall conference in Orlando. It's in November 1st and 2nd. And Robin Hill and myself will be asking for permission to attend.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph. Do we have a motion to approve the staff travel?
Madam Chair, I request to approve the staff travel.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. 5.8, teacher salary increase and annual salary adjustment.
Okay, I'm gonna let Ms. Raynick and Mr. Kilworth to discuss that. They're part of our bargaining team.
Okay.
Well, it's been a team effort working
You
through
don't
this.
feel slighted, do you?
I don't
Ms.
feel
Gill,
slighted a bit.
we're going to jump her in as we need as well. We did, as we talked about in the executive session, we went to the IBB meeting. We had asked them to present a proposal of how they wanted to divide the available teacher salary increase money. They came back with one proposal. We told them about the other proposal where we were going to have retention bonuses that the board would like to do because we are in a position with the hurricane that we can't really raise salaries, base salaries. So we talked to them about that and we came to some agreement. We wanted to come as close as we could to that 43,000 mark for new teachers so that we wouldn't be that far behind going in. So we made that a priority. So they did agree, and it is being circulated now for ratification and signature, is that correct? It's being sent.
Signature being sent to their representative, other than the union president. I've met with her today. She signed off, I've signed off, we've sent to their negotiator. Once she signs, they email me this afternoon, so they'll probably get it either this evening or first thing in the morning. Once I get that, then I will then give that to Ms. Joseph for her to have final signings, then all four will sign, then they will end up going to ratification. Should be tomorrow, a couple days from now. Because we will meet tomorrow, just Hill and I.
What did they agree on?
We had proposed and they accepted to raise teacher salary increase up to 42.5, which is close to where the board wanted to be with that 3-year plan that we couldn't come up with.
Those are the beginning teachers?
That's the beginning teachers, yes. So that was a raise of $1,575. And then they came back and countered that, we countered with them, and we came back with saying that instructional staff would get the equivalent of that same amount, all of the instructional staff, including teachers and instructional staff, which is your guidance counselors, your media, they would get an equivalent of that $1,575, so don't slip into the millions here, in a blend of either the teacher salary increase and or the ARP bonus. The teacher salary increase would increase their base salary. So for a teacher that was making, say, in the high 40s, they might only get $600 base salary, but then they would get like a $975 retention bonus. As the board proposed, the retention bonus would go to only those teachers that were here at the end of last year and that came back this year. So that's the proposal that we have in front of them that they are looking at to sign right now. So the equivalent of the $15.75 for the instructional staff, with a couple exceptions of those teachers that just started and won't get a retention bonus. Then we looked at the total expenditure of the ARP money with that plan that we're asking about tonight would be around $74,000. Then we talked about the non-instructional staff. And as we told them, it's very, very difficult with us facing millions of dollars in hurricane damages to raise base salary. However, we did tell them the board would like to make sure that they are shown appreciation, so we would like to offer the non-instructional staff a retention bonus from ARC, so it would not come from general fund, of $1,000 for the full-time staff, which are 7 hours or more, and $500 for the part-time staff, which is 4.5 hours or less. The proposal was accepted by the IBB union to take to their membership. Again, as Mr. Killingsworth talked to you about, we have their preliminary signatures, but we don't have it ratified yet. We're asking that you, as a board, would approve that plan as presented so that we can move forward, and upon ratification, then we can notify the Department of Education that we have a plan in place to spend the salary increase. We spent $2,500 more than what we received in the $136,000 for the salary increases to make it come out. The bonus that we were talking about for the retention bonus would be the net of the amount. The district would absorb the taxes on there. Now, the employees' regular income taxes they would pay, but all of the FICA, those kinds of taxes, the board would absorb. We are proposing that those dollars go out and be in a check, a separate check, available on November 21st. Depending on when the ratification happens, we're going to try our darndest to meet that. So we will not negotiate further for this year. We will start negotiations next year. I did have some questions about, does that mean that next year, whatever they got in base salary goes away? No, that's not what that means. Base salary will still extend through the year. It's the retention bonus that's coming out of the ARP that they will get now, that they won't get next year because we won't have ARP money next year. Questions?
Does anyone have a question for Ms. Randa?
So what's bus drivers considered?
Pardon me?
What's bus drivers considered?
They're non-instructional.
Bus drivers are hired for 4 hours.
It's, remember the 7 hours and 4.5?
I know.
The split.
Yeah. Had we been on the old step system, their step would have looked more like $260. So this is showing them much more than the step.
And it showed last year.
Last year, the same way, the board was generous and they got more than what they would have gotten in a step.
Now, some of them bus drivers are working lunchrooms and stuff like that, so that makes up the,
There's 2 part-time positions out there for both
Yeah.
part-time. If they're hired in the cafeteria and hired as a bus driver, they get 2 part-time supplements.
okay, I got you.
And they'll only get this, it's a retention bonus. So if they were here last year,
Yeah,
they're here this year. That's what this is designed to do.
I got you.
So there will be a few exceptions that have come since the beginning of the year that won't get that.
I got you.
So this is just a proposal, it's not been ratified. We're just saying that we agree that this is something that we're in agreement with.
Another thing, we're working the clock because this was due to the state on October 1. We asked for an extension to November 1, and we're trying to keep you from not having to have another meeting this week after they ratify. This is pending the ratification by the union.
So if y'all approve it, it doesn't come back.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, we'll have to have another meeting.
Right. Do we have a motion to approve the teacher salary increase and annual salary adjustments?
Like I say, you had 3 things in there. You had memorandum instructional. Yeah, I think you had memorandum instructional, memorandum non-instructional, and then a salary schedule.
Yes, I'm
So
sorry.
inclusive
Yes.
of all three of them.
The salary, yes, the salary schedule took the new starting increase of 1575, added it to the schedule of steps that were normally entry-level steps, not steps for performance. And it added those together, and that shows you where the salary, starting salary would be based on years of experience. That would also be submitted to the department
Okay,
upon ratification.
we'll do these separately then. Do we have a motion to approve the instructional salary?
One thing, the instructional salary is also dependent on their ratification, right?
Yes, all of it.
All
So
of it.
this is, isn't it?
Upon
Yes, but-
ratification.
Yes, but the memoranda have places for them to sign, so if they never ratify, that's understood. You see,
Okay.
that would be a salary schedule, you all have the right to set unilaterally. So my point would be, on the salary schedule, you need to make the motion that pending approval by the union, we will approve the salary schedule.
Okay, and,
Does that make sense?
yes,
Yes, upon approval.
okay. All right, do we have a motion to, depending on the approval of the union, for the instructional salary?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the instructional salary schedule pending approval by the union.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0.
And so then it'd be the MOU for instruction.
Yes, do we have a motion to approve the MOU for non-instructional, depending on approval by the union?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the MOU for non-instructional pending union approval.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Do we have a motion for the salary schedule, depending on the approval? No, I guess for the
MOU instruction.
MOU instruction.
I move to approve the MOU for the instructional pending ratification of the union.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan. All those in favor, raise your hand. Becky, 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Rainick. Ms. Knight, no, excuse me. Mrs. Joseph,
Oh, okay.
you're there.
Okay, I've got several little tidbits. First of all, I would like to thank some people for the updates about boardrooms. I know we're kind of trying to move into the 21st century, and this was done without any board money. I need to thank Mr. Kevin Robinson for, he did the actual painting. Okay, but I'd like to thank the staff at the district office for buying the paint for him to do it. It did not come out of any of the school board coffers. I'd like to thank Mr. Ben Madison with Pat Craft for providing the carpet and having it installed. It did not cost us a penny. Okay? So that's our new updated boardroom. We are gonna get some new little decoration over there, but we're trying to come into the 21st century.
It's very nice.
Okay, Fall Festivals, Pineapple, October 19th, 5:30 to 7:30. Lee Elementary, October 19th, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And Greenville Elementary is at November 2nd, he didn't put a time on that. So those are Fall Festival dates, that's always been announced, as announced. If you were at the ball game Friday night, the Synergy group, this, what's the name, Synergy Disaster Recovery Group, they wanted to show some appreciation to Madison County for things. And so what they did, they provided tickets for us to provide to the emergency management, Madison County Emergency Management Operations Center, just to thank them for being our unsung heroes. Those, Nick Bassford and her group does a lot of hard work. We thank everybody, it takes a village to maintain this village, but they're the group that's open 24 hours a day. They're the ones out there, they're the ones that's leading the pack, and even after the hurricane leave, they will still be working. And so we recognize them as our unsung heroes Friday night at the ball game.
And they were on it too.
Yep.
I mean, they were on it. All time of night you're getting some from waste, from those folks. They were on it.
Lee and her, Lee has a very good team, and we like to thank her for that. We like to give people their flowers while they live. And transition into that, I do have my flowers today. My flowers is because today is National Bosses Day. And I'd like to thank one of my departments for providing me flowers. Somebody gave me some cake too, I didn't bring that shit. But we would like to thank all and recognize all bosses today and tell them Happy Bosses Day. Okay, another thing, and thank Devin for telling me about it. Madison County School District, I'm going to pass this out. We are being, someone thought enough of us to recognize us for one of the best of the Madison County Awards. We were recognized in the large business district of the year. And on one side of that page, it tells you the criteria for being nominated and being recognized in that position. And so, encourage your friends, encourage your people. If they truly think we are one of the best in Madison County, to go and vote for us. And the winners will be recognized at a banquet on November 28th. And that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph. Mr. Reeves? Ms. Knight?
I just want to thank Mr. Sell for coming this evening and giving us an update on the status of Greenville Elementary School. I want to thank our attendees that attended this evening. It's always great to see faces in the audience for our board meetings. I also want to say that I attended the award ceremony at Lee Elementary School and got to see some progress there with some of their star scores as well, and it was great to see, you know, the progress there and attend that ceremony. I also want to congratulate our JV football team who went undefeated this season, and just encourage everybody to come out this Friday night and support our Cowboys for homecoming.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson.
I also would like to thank everybody that was here tonight in attendance in the audience. I had the privilege of visiting Lee Elementary School Friday, and there were a lot of students that received awards for honor roll, for attendance. But one of the coolest things I thought was Ms. Miner did some new awards for students just that were, you know, recognized for other things besides academics. And so I thought that was really neat to see some of those students recognized. I would like to thank all of our staff for everything you do every day. Ms. Raynack for the financial stuff and letting us know how everything's going. And thank you guys for being here tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll.
Of course, I'd like to thank everybody that y'all already thanked, so they know. But I'd also like to thank Dr. Blue, because he has those Saturday school board cats out there and cleaning up that stadium on Saturday morning. And they had a truck load of trash this past week. He comes out there and does that with them, and that's a big help for the entire school system out there, but especially for the upkeep of the athletics fields and stuff. And so I'd like, you know, I how much we appreciate doing that. And that's basically it.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll. Ms. Fietta?
I would like to thank everybody connected countywide and others who are connected with the Madison County school system. Everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Hagan. I had the privilege of attending Madison County High School Cowboy Showcase. I'd like to thank Mr. Brooks, Mrs. Hurst, and Ms. Jody Price for putting in all the teachers that showed up that night. It was a wonderful meal, and I really appreciated what they did. I'd like to recognize our resource officer tonight, Officer Stallmaker, and all the Madison County Sheriff's Department. We appreciate what you do each and every day. I enjoyed Mr. Sells' presentation, and I look forward to great things happening at Greenville Elementary School. Thank you all.
I got one of them things.
I forgot this, in front of you, Ms. Bishop put a paper, we have an opportunity to write a grant and get a canine. Is money to purchase for the purchase and training of a firearm detection canine. This money, it can only be used for that. Even though it's a lot of money, like DOG,
It's a special deal.
it's a special dog, and we're gonna be writing for the grant. If we get it, we'll bring it back.
I can't have it for you.
Huh?
Said, I can't keep the dog though.
No, we cannot keep the
I think
dog.
that's awesome, then. That's really awesome.
But I just wanted to give you a heads up on where we were heading.
And who's gonna be the caregiver
Yeah.
for the dog?
It belongs to the law enforcement agency. We're paying for the purchase and/or
And we're gonna
training.
turn all that over to law enforcement.
We'll have an agreement with them, but it's a real short turnaround.
And
It's
so
due
they'll be
November 1st.
responsible for the expense and all that.
Right.
What
Okay.
you giving us, you see how much money they're giving
I
us?
saw it.
They'll choose the handler and
They
all
don't
that
give you
stuff.
that much for a child of foster care and adopt.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, all in favor? Becky, 5-0.